Hello there. Didn't see you come in. Welcome. Welcome to another video where I answer some of your questions about indie game development. I'm currently still working on the character model for my game Project Feline, and for those that have been watching the previous parts of that series, thank you all so much for the support. I'm hoping to release the next part soon. I'm still working on a few things with it, but in the meantime, I've been getting a lot of questions about what I've been doing on my YouTube and on my Discord channel, so I thought I'd take a moment today to answer some of those questions. And these questions again range from like game design stuff to stuff about my game specifically, and hopefully through this video you'll learn a thing or two, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you've got your own questions you'd want to ask, so if you do have any, be sure to leave them in the comments or join the community Discord. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start off with some YouTube comments. We have a nice comment here from Dr. Logic, who has a very nice little story here, and I really appreciate that you found my video helpful. But we're going to get right into the question of this. Is there any advice you can give on suppressing your inner perfectionist? Now, this is something I still struggle with on a daily basis. I'm very, very critical of myself, and I find I tend to spend way too long on things than I should. And I'd say the best thing I think I've done to help counter that to any degree would be to get a good support network around you and get a network of people that are going to call you out on when you're being perfectionist and sort of peer pressure you into releasing what it is you're working on. I find that that's probably the best way I found to work. If you have enough people around you doing that, you're probably going to give in and just put it out regardless of if it's perfect or not. And that's probably for the best. So I'd say get a good network of people around you, and if you don't have anyone in your immediate area, I do have a large community of my own here on YouTube and on Discord. So if you want to engage with the people here, there's a lot of people on my Discord that are very friendly, and they'd probably give you heaps of reason to release whatever it is you're working on. In fact, I have a channel in that specifically for showcasing work. So, you know, if you just want to show off what you're doing or start a discussion about it, start posting some stuff there and see what people say about it and see how that works out. I find that that's been very helpful for me personally. Next question on YouTube, and this is about Project Feline now, and this is a question I've been getting a lot, is do you want to make the game in levels, or do you think you may make the world more open at a later date? It's hard to say at the moment, but I think a lot of people have been saying to turn this game into some cool open world adventure, which is actually kind of cool now that I think about it. But I'd say trying to do something that's open world might be a little too ambitious for one person to do. So for the time being, I'm going to stick very much to a level structure similar to that in the Sonic the Hedgehog games or any 3D platformer with a series of levels and maps. The idea of having these tightly controlled maps I think is going to be a bit easier to pull off than a expansive open world from the like seen in, you know, like Mirror's Edge Catalyst or something. So I'm going to start with levels, we'll see how we go. And another question below that from Samuel OK. Where did you learn programming? I want to make a game as well, but I only have art skills. Well, you're in luck, because I only really have art skills as well. I haven't done any courses in programming at all. I started off just learning Unity, and that was just from the documentation and from YouTube. Now for Unreal, I'm just reading the documentation and YouTube again. So I kind of just taught myself how to do it. It's actually not that difficult nowadays. There's heaps of resources online. Google some, you know, Unreal Engine tutorials or whatever engine you may be using, and you'll be on your way to learn how to be a programmer. Next, we have a question about game development from Raylock, who says, I find myself starting out as a developer with no talent spot. I can't draw as well as you. Neither do I have any creative idea to run off. Would you have any advice on where and how I should start out? Well, first thing would be to drop the comparisons. I don't think it's very fair to say that you can't draw as well as me because we both started out very differently. I've been drawing Sonic the Hedgehog since I was 10 years old. So with that, I'd say it's kind of hard to give advice because you're starting out at a completely different spot to me, and a lot of the time you got to trust what your gut's telling you. I find that tends to work out. And just starting literally anywhere is better than not starting. So if you're worried that you're not as good of an artist or you don't have much creativity, you don't necessarily need that. If you can find some other skill, because game development is very broad, there's heaps of skills involved with it. If you pick up one of those skills and you really enjoy it, then that's good enough, man. You go for it. Alright, and now onto some questions from our Discord community. I have a specific channel here just for Q&As, so if you want to have one of your questions answered, be sure to leave it in the Q&A chat on the Discord server. I'll link it in the description. Now the first question we have here is about work ethic from Obsidio. How do you organize your work method in order to help you work faster and more effectively? Great question, and it's got a very large answer, which I'd probably do in a later video. This is literally like I'd have enough to talk about for a whole video's worth. But just to quickly answer it, I'd say the best thing I tend to do is to write things down and tick things off and make checklists. Next question from Goombas in a Stack about the Project Feline game. Are you going to have cell shading? Yes, I am, and I'm working on it at the moment, and I can't wait to show you, but it's not ready yet. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button, and you'll see how it turns out. Next question from Alex Vramby. If you ever finish this game, are you going to try and make it available on consoles? Perhaps. It's a dream I'd really like to try doing. I grew up with consoles, I think that'd be really fun. However, I don't know how possible that's going to be, so it's definitely something I'd like to look into. And to follow up that question from LK Accidental, or at least controller support, absolutely. I've actually been working to get controller support in the game since day one. So if you actually download the prototype right now, link in the description, you can actually play the game for the most part with the controller with no problems. The only thing that doesn't quite work is the menu system, and my god, I'm not going to return to that system anytime soon, but at some point in the future, I'll definitely be reworking it to accommodate better for controllers. And a question about the game's story from Thorntail. So, does the character have a backstory? For example, how did the character become a cat girl? The other thing I'm curious about is if you have any ideas for the setting of the game. And of course, he goes on to list some of his own examples here, and I appreciate the contribution. Now I get asked a lot about this sort of thing, about what's going to be the story, and it's really cool because I actually do care a lot about what the story is going to be. It really sort of makes my eyes light up when I see questions about the game's story, to see people as interested as I might be about it. So that's really awesome. I'm glad that you guys are looking forward to see where the game goes for its narrative. Throughout the most part for the development of this prototype, I've kind of on purpose steered away from the story and just sort of have been focusing on the gameplay. A couple days ago, I was putting some thought into it just with the sheer amount of questions about the story. And all I can say for the moment is I'm going to be making videos on it soon after I finish the character model, because I think that's definitely an area of the project that needs some attention. I do have some exciting ideas. A lot of these ideas I came up with when I was a teenager, after all, because this is sort of a very long time coming passion project of mine. And at the moment, I just have a lot of very abstract images and sort of scenes of what could occur. And I just want to try and sort of convert them into a coherent story from start to finish, and that's going to be the challenge. But I really appreciate all the enthusiasm, and if you guys have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments or on the Discord channel. Question about the game's release from Little Lockie. When will the game be out, and how much will it cost, and what platforms will it be on? Very great and concise question, my dude. I have the prototype available for free on itch, and the prototype is probably going to stay up there for free. It's just to give people the chance to sort of test out whether they like the game, and then the final game is definitely going to be paid. As for what platforms, I've had a lot of people suggest Steam to me, and it seems like now is a more easy time than ever to get the game on Steam. So when the game's closer to release, that's definitely something I'm going to be looking into. And as for consoles, as already stated, I'm not sure yet, but it would be nice. Question from Dan about the gameplay. Will there be some kind of multiplayer mode? Oh, that would be cool. However, it'll just depend on what time I've got available. If I've got time to implement a really nice multiplayer mode, then definitely. But I don't just want to shoehorn a multiplayer in for the very sake of it. So if I can somehow develop a cool little multiplayer thing that it's fun enough for people to be entertained by, then definitely I'm going to put in a multiplayer mode. And of course, the question that everyone wants answered, which I will finally address in this video. How many ears does Gabriella have? Why does she only have one ear? How many ears does she have? Does she have 3 ears? Does she have 1 ear? How many ears does the character have? This seems to be the most common question I get, and I'm actually going to answer it today. I think it's kind of been given away through the character modeling videos. Some of you have seen some glimpses underneath her hair mesh, how many ears she might have, and the official answer is she has 1. She has 1 ear. Just to settle the amount of ears, because some people said she has 3. They're wondering if does she have 2 human ears and 1 cat, or what's going on? And no, she does not have any human ears. She has 1 cat ear. However, why does she only have 1 cat ear? That's the real thing that you guys want to know. And I will say, she used to have 2. She doesn't have 2 anymore. She's got just the 1. And as with what happened to the other one, well, we'll just have to find out, won't we? I know that one has been asked quite a fair bit, so hopefully that clears a few things up. No, it's not an accident. I didn't forget to draw the second one. And I suppose we've got time for one more question from Arvid343. Do you watch anime? Honestly, not really. I know, big surprise. I'm very much into the art style, but I actually don't watch a lot of anime. I probably watch more movies than anime shows, and to that which I will say I'll give my favorites. My absolute favorite anime film is definitely Your Name, or, you know, whatever the Japanese name for it is. I don't use the Japanese names. I am not Japanese. I can't pronounce it. A Silent Voice, one of my favorites. Pretty much any Studio Ghibli film I really enjoy. And as for anime TV shows, Death Note, absolutely one of my biggest favorites. Sword Art Online, which I watched when I was a teenager, and I used to like it a lot back then, but I don't really like it as much now. And of course, Ben 10. Favorite anime, very nice, 10 out of 10. All right, that will just about do it for this episode of Question Time with me, Raymond, the guy developing the Feline game. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the video helpful and insightful in some way. I hope this sort of clears up some things about the game that you've been wondering. And if you have any more questions about it, be sure to leave them in the comments down below or in the community Discord, which is also linked down below. Thank you for watching my video. Stay tuned for the next couple days. I'm still working on my character model, and I want to put out another video real soon. So be sure to stick around if you love anime and 3D modeling and Blender. So thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video.